Welcome to chemistry, everyone. This is the demonstration part of the Chem Is Try Lab. So we're going to walk through this one with you so you understand the thinking process that we're looking for the rest of the activities in this lab. So we're going to start here with an Erlenmeyer flask, and this is on a stir plate. So I'm going to turn this on. There's a magnetic stir bar in the bottom of this that's going to constantly stir as I am adding chemicals into this flask, and you can see the little tornado effect happening right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put in everything that it tells you is already in there in the directions. So you've got your water. I'm going to add this milk of magnesia. It's an antacid. We'll talk about that in a minute. And again, the stir bar is going to stir that in. Put a little bit more in there. And then the last thing the direction said was that you have universal indicator in there. So when I add this, you're going to see a definite change. Now, what we're going to put in here now is I'm going to add some vinegar or acetic acid into this. And you are going to observe and write down observations based on what you have seen. I'll do this a couple times so that you can take a look. So here's the first addition of the acetic acid. Then I'll do that one more time. Again, be as specific as possible with your observations, and then we will discuss this shortly. Hi everyone, this is part 1 chem of the Chem Is Try Lab. First thing I'm going to do is put on my safety glasses and gather my materials. For this activity, I need a beaker to mix my chemicals in. I'll be using a graduated cylinder to measure liquid volumes. And the liquid I'm going to use is this copper 2 chloride. It's a blue solution we'll be looking at today and working with. And then the last thing that we need is some aluminum. And we're going to use aluminum foil. So let's get started. The first part of this activity says that we are supposed to get 25 milliliters of copper 2 chloride into a beaker. Now, we're not going to start with the beaker because we want to use the graduated cylinder. It has more increments. It will give us a more accurate volume. So we're going to use that to measure the 25 milliliters first. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to leave the graduated cylinder on the table. Don't hold it up. And I am going to pour in 25 milliliters. And then I'm going to take a quick peek at eye level down here to make sure that the meniscus, which is the dip of the solution, the bottom of that should be right at 25. And it looks like I need a little more. So I'm going to put a smidge more in. And we are good to go. So then I'm going to transfer that into the beaker where I'm going to do the mixing. So we've got our copper 2 chloride solution here. We have our pieces of aluminum foil, which I'm going to ball up a little bit so they'll react a little faster. And then I'm going to drop those in. And you want to watch what is happening as this reacts. It's going to take a minute. I'm going to grab one more piece of foil to plop in here, maybe 2. So watch what's occurring, particularly at the bottom underneath the aluminum foil there. You should be seeing the start of a reaction. And then I've got another beaker here that's been going for a little bit so you can see what happens after some time here. So this one's been going for about 20 minutes. So observe the differences between those two. And again, because this is on a video, feel free to rewind, pause, do what you need to do to get a good set of observations there. I'm also going to show you the bottom of this beaker so you can see what happens after a while there. That is part 1 chem. And we're ready for activity 2 is. We've got all our materials here. Got a graduated cylinder, some hydrochloric acid, sodium carbonate with a little pipette in it. That's what this plastic guy is. Some guck we'll get a closer look at in just a minute, and then our 100 milliliter beaker for mixing and reacting our chemicals. So we'll start with the first direction, which says that we need 75 milliliters of the hydrochloric acid. So I'm going to leave this on the counter again, use a graduated cylinder to measure. And this is at eye level, so I just need to get that meniscus right at 75 milliliters. And I am good there. And then I'm going to transfer it into the beaker because that's where we do, again, all our reactions and mixing. Graduated cylinders are for measuring. The beakers are where the mixing is going to occur. So, speaking of mixing, we're going to mix in the sodium carbonate in a little different way this time. We're going to use the pipette, and we're going to dribble 2 to 3 full pipettes down the side. So I'm going to tilt the beaker, and I'm going to squeeze those in. Pay close attention to what you see happening here. So there's one full one. There is 2. And then I'm going to go for a full 3 here. So there's the third one going in. I'm going to let that sit for just a minute, because what you should see happening there is when it settles, there's a little bit of a rainbow effect. And I realize it's kind of hard to see on the video right now, so I'm going to snap a quick picture of it. So we all know I'm not making this up. This will be at the end of this activity, so you can take a look and see the rainbow a little closer up. So make sure you take a look at that when we're done. And then the last step here says we are going to put in this guck. So guck is just a white powder. You can see it kind of falling off the spoon there. So I'm going to take a big scoop of this, and I'm going to dump it right into my little cup there. And then you're going to watch the effect. Just in case you can't really tell what happened here, I'm going to kind of push on this, and you're going to see that this turned solid. So I'm going to turn it upside down. Some of the extra guck is going to fall out of there so you can see what it looks like. But this is solid material right now. Nothing's coming out of there. All that liquid turned into a solid. And that is activity 2. And last but not least is activity 3, the try part of Chem Is Try. So our materials for this are acetic acid, sodium bicarbonate, and a film canister with a cap. We will start by filling that film canister halfway up with acetic acid. otherwise known as vinegar. And here's a silver lining for remote learning. You don't have to smell all of those stinky things that sometimes make a chem room not such a fun place to be. And we are then going to put some baking soda into the cap here. And I'm going to make a little mess. So bonus number 2, you don't have to clean up. And then I'm going to put the cap on. You're going to watch the reaction when it occurs. Right? Nice little surprise. And that is activity number 3.